sigawan nila, sabi, nagpaputok na nagpaputok.
The riding in tandem gun for hires is really spreading so fast because it's an industry.
In the first month of 2013, more than 25 people lost their lives by the barrel of a gun. The Philippines has the worst firearm murder rate in Asia. About 9 out of every 100,000 deaths are intentional homicides by guns.
Mas mahirap ang patayin yung aso eh. Yung tao, pag tinamaan mo na sa ulo yan, wala na.
In this 1-hour special, we enter the world of the professionals who are paid to pull the trigger.
Isang putok, pera na kagad.
And we ask if the law can take on the entrenched gun culture in the Philippines and win. If there's one thing Filipinos have in common with their former American masters, it's their love of guns. All 1.8 million of them. That's one gun for every 20 people in the Philippines. Philippines has the second highest rate of civilian gun ownership in Southeast Asia.
The police itself announced that they're doing their best to curb the crime in the Philippines. They're asking the whole populace to please help us, help you. That's short of saying, arm yourselves.
38-year-old Joel Castro has been selling guns for a living for the past 5 years. His inventory includes every type of gun, from handguns to assault rifles. All within the price range of 10,000 to 16,000 pesos, or 250 to 400 US dollars. Pay cash up front, and Joel can deliver the gun to you within a month.
This is a revolver, 38 special. This is a double action revolver. Actually, this is a very reliable pistol because safety-wise, you could already carry it loaded. You just shoot it and shoot it and shoot it and shoot it.
In the Philippines, any citizen over 21 can own a gun. They just need to apply for a license. The license to own a gun can cost between $7 US and $20 US, depending on the caliber. The law also requires citizens to get a permit to carry, or PTC, if they want to carry the guns outside their homes. To get the PTC, all they have to do is prove to the police they may need to use it in self-defense.
A gun is an inanimate object, because a knife is an inanimate object. You can put it into good use or use it doing criminal activities. Depends on the person. So if they say it's easy to kill here in the Philippines, it's not the problem of the gun anymore. It's not the gun. It's not the responsible gun ownership. You could kill with a knife, in fact. So it's more of a socio-cultural dilemma rather than blaming an inanimate object.
Yet the Philippines has the worst firearm murder rate in Asia. 9 out of every 100,000 deaths are intentional homicides by guns. What's shocking is that this number is higher than that of the United States, where only 3 out of every 100,000 deaths are gun-related.
Balita pa rin kaugnay sa malagim na pamamaril sa Kawit, Cavite. A man went on a shooting rampage in Kawit, Cavite, killing at least 4 people and injuring
Karahasan ang
several.
gumising sa mga tiga-barangay Tabon sa Kawit, Cavite kaninang umaga. Isang lalaki ang nag-amok at walang habas na
Tungkol sa malagim na pangyayari. Tungkol sa malagim na pangyayari. Malagim na pangyayari.
At ilan sa mga namatay, Mike, ay isang babaeng buntis at 2 bata. Mga walang...
Kawit, Cavite is a sleepy town located about half an hour away from the capital city of Manila. It's sometimes called the land of the brave. But on that fateful morning, courage was hard to come by for its residents. It was here that a former local councilman and resident of Kawit, Ronald Bai, went on his shooting rampage. His motives? A mystery. In a matter of 30 minutes, Ronald shot 8 people to death in their own homes.
Pag salubong namin sa kwarto, yun.
Tutok po siya?
Diretso tutok. Tinatanong yung mga anak ko.
Bakit po hinahanap yung mga anak niyo,
Ewan
ma'am?
ko.
Anong sabi niyo po?
Sabi ko, busing wala. Wala kaming alam at wala kaming kasalanan sa iyo.
Opo.
Yun lang at binaba na yung baril.
Bilis ng takbo umpisa doon. Hindi pa ganyan. Diretso ako sa taas. Doon na niya pinagbabaril yung bata. Ito po ang Bukasyan TV. Tapos nung...
3 po silang nandyan,
magkakasama.
magkakasama.
Ronald fired a total of 10 shots at the 3 children. 7-year-old Micaela Caimol, who was to begin grade school this year, didn't survive. Fortunately, her 2 younger siblings did. 3-year-old Ken was struck by 8 bullets, while his younger sister escaped with a grazed ear.
Hindi na po kasi namamaril siya ng namamaril eh.
Naiwan mo yung mga bata sa loob?
Oo, pero hindi ko po inisip na sila yung pinagbabaril doon. Tumawag agad ang asawa ko dito, si Chay niya. Inano nga na kung ano na nangyari sa anak kong babae. Yung binalita na lang nila sa amin na wala na. Nakatay na daw.
Bae used an unlicensed .45 caliber semi-automatic. Various statistics show an estimated 600,000 to 2 million unlicensed or loose firearms floating around in the Philippines.
The people who own illegal, unlicensed firearms oftentimes are the ones who perpetuate violence. Kasi alam nila they can get away with it and the police cannot track them down. So, yan ang nangyayari. So, unless they can eliminate all the possible firearms, then that kind of violence will continue.
Apart from the .45 caliber that Ronald used to gun down the people in his neighborhood, the police found in his house 4 other guns. And they were all licensed. That was strange, because Ronald Bae had a drug problem. According to the law, potential gun owners need to pass a drug test, before being approved for a gun license by the Firearms and Explosives Office, or FEO.
Gaano po kayo kalapit dun sa...
Ayan, kalapit lang. Tinutuwa na wala na palang bala. Wala na kilala siya. May iba natin yung tao. Kaya nung lumabas na siya, yung dali ko, nagpaputok. Dito, may pumutok na. Maraming sunod, ayun siya na pala.
Galing na siya doon sa palengke.
Bae's killing spree came to an end when he was shot dead by the local police. The Cavite mass murder comes on the heels of other high-profile gun deaths. It's not just the easy access to loose firearms in the Philippines that is responsible for these indiscriminate killings. It's the easy access to men willing to pull the trigger for a fee. Get Real enters the world of these professionals.
Pagdating niya sa mga ulo, ang tao wala na. Ang pagkarandang ko, parang hari ako eh.
In the Philippines, this is a much-loved pastime. The president himself is a big fan. And places like these reap the rewards of the Filipino love of guns. But this is not the only industry booming, thanks to the easy access to guns.
Gun for hires is really spreading so fast because it's an industry. We have in our account 261 already victims of riding in tandem syndicates, and they are now on training. May balita kami, mga kabataan po ngayon ay nagte-training po sila sa mga lugar kung saan ay masisikip, mahirap talagang daanan at mahirap din mahuli.
For as little as $250 US, he can be persuaded to get rid of an enemy permanently. In the last 8 years, he has shot and successfully killed 27 people, from businessmen to politicians. He says the numbers you see in the news are just the tip of the iceberg.
Yung namamatay na sinadyang pinatay, maraming nakakita, na ijajaryo yun. Pero kapag ang namatay, walang nakakita, walang nakaalam. Paano may ijajaryo yun? Wala magreklamo. Usually, karamihan sa natrabaho namin, siguro sa 10, 3 lang ang naijaryo. 3, 4. Nagsimula kasi yun yung time na nagkaroon ng kasiyahan sa bahay namin. Hindi namin alam na yung uncle ko is itutumba rin ng isang hitman. Bali, namatay siya sa harapan namin. Tapos nagkaroon ng bali-balita na pinapatay siya. Pero that time, medyo ano pa ako noon na binatilyo pa lang ako noon. Mga 14, 15 pa lang ako. Wala pa akong involved, nag-aaral pa ako noon sa ano. Pero hindi siya nawala sa isip ko noon, yung pagiging hitman. Sabi ko sa sarili ko, parang napakadali nilang ginawang trabaho.
Before taking the plunge, Ramos gave the legit life one last shot by taking up a job in building and construction. But an unscrupulous boss cemented his choice to become a gun for hire.
Hindi ko ginawa yun para makuha kay sweldo. Ginawa ko yun para magantihan ko yung kaapihang ginawa sa akin. 30 pamilya ang tinanggalan niya ng karapatang kumain nung araw na yun. Kaya naisipan ko nang gawin yun eh. Kasi nung time na yun, may gamit na ako nun eh. Kapag ano na ako ng gamit nun. Yun na yung pinaka-unang-unang, hindi pa naman assignment. Siya yung unang-unang naputukan ng gamit na yun.
His tool? An unlicensed gun, conveniently lying about in his cousin's home. Ramos has come a long way since then. In the age of the internet, he works with an agent who brings the clients to him. Once he has accepted the assignment, he can take up to 3 months for research and recon.
Meron akong 3 baril. Isang Magnum 357, isang caliber 45, saka isang caliber 38 slab nose. Ang may-ari daw nito, teniente.
Teniente? Pulis po talaga?
Sa Philippine Army. Parang service niya rin to. Main source talaga niyan, politiko. Pag maramihan. Yan ang may pinakamaraming armas sa atin.
Magkano ho sir ang binili?
Nung binili ko to, nasa pa lang to nun eh. 2.7.
2.7.
Nakabox pa to nung binili ko. Gusto kong mga pinaano sa akin, gusto ko yung may mga background ng kawalangyaan. Background ng pagiging corrupt, ganyan. Kapag mga mababait, hindi ko tinatanggap. Hindi ako basta-basta tumatanggap ng trabaho. Hindi porket sinabing, tumba mo yan, tumba na kagad. Pinag-aaralan din niya kung paano mo siya paano ka makakalapit sa kanya nang hindi ka hindi ka mahalata na siya ang aanuhin mo. Minsan nagpapanggap ka magtrabaho, titinda ka, minsan ordinaryong taong palakad-lakad, minsan executive ang forma mo, iba-iba, hindi isang klase lang. Minsan kailangan mong martila ng sakyan para magawa mo.
56-year-old Peping has been a gun for hire for much longer than Ramos. 4 decades.
Sir, good afternoon po. Pwede ko makituloy, sir? Sige po. Thank you.
He has racked up 28 hits. They include drug addicts, businessmen, and politicians. The person who brought him into the business, a congressman.
Ngayon naman nagpakilala sa akin, isang kaibigan ko rin. Tao siya dati ng congressman. Congressman, may may kaibigan ako na buri ng loob. Saka pagkakatiwalaan mo rin. Sa madali sabi, pinatawag ngayon ako. Pagdating ko sa bahay nila, nagpakilala ako. Sabi niya, ikaw po pala si Piping. Oo, sir. Gusto mo magtrabaho sa akin? Sa hirap ng pera.
Yun lang po talaga yung punot ko. Kailangan kumita ng pera.
Kailangan kumita ng pera.
Peping became part of the congressman's private army, a common feature in the political landscape of the Philippines. One protected by the law. Executive Order 546 legitimizes the use of armed paramilitary groups by politicians for personal protection, and the use of public funds to pay for them.
Ngayon kung may problema siya, ako'y naglalakad.
Mga ilang taon po kayo nandoon, sir, na nag-work sa kanila?
Mula nung sumapay ko sa kanila, sa mga 15 years. Kasi hindi naman siya napapalitan dahil malakas siya. Pag alam niya may malakas siyang kalaban, tatawagin ako. Ako kasi nanigurado ako na hindi ako papaltos. Talagang mula rito hanggang dyan, mga 3 metro to, diba? Nilapitan ko talaga yan. Sa ko siya birahin. Sinisigurado ko kasi ang belt nun mahirap eh. Ang balik. Mas mahirap ang patayin yung aso eh.
Bakit?
Ay yung aso pag 3 palo, hindi pa na mamatay yan. Yung tao, pag tinama mo na sa ulo yan, wala na. Kahit paikutan pa siya ng baril sa baywang. Pagdating niya sa mga ulo, ang tao wala na.
Ramos and Peping are going to be especially busy in the next couple of months because election season has begun in the Philippines. And the battle over ballots here is often fought with bullets.
So, kailan po yung susunod yung trabaho?
Basta bago mag-eleksyon. Election-related to eh.
Pinaka-expect kong makukuha kong trabaho niyan, di ba? Pinaka-ano na yun, ha? Pero pinaka-mababa 3.
This May, the Philippines will be holding its general elections. It's a time to campaign. A time to kill. In the Philippines, the battle over ballots is often fought with bullets.
Kasi importante yung public offices sa Pilipinas is a good source of income kasi mayroon national appropriation for the budget for running the office, lobby money from businessmen. The perception of the candidate is to win the election by all means. And therefore, they will, if they know they are not going to win, they might become desperate and eliminate their opponent. And oftentimes, that is what happened.
And elimination here doesn't mean disqualification. It means death.
Filipinos are tribal in their thinking. Yung grupo nila, gusto nila sila ang hari sa isang lugar. At if there is somebody who challenge them, they declare war. And war means you go out headhunting. Kasi direct evidence na yung politiko ang pumatay, wala. Kasi ang pumapatay, bodyguard or hired killers.
These armies are protected by law. Executive Order 546, passed during the time of Gloria Arroyo, allows politicians and local government officials to employ an armed civilian force for protection. 56-year-old Peping belonged to a local congressman's private army that had 20 other hired killers. For 15 years, he ensured that political rivals didn't gain ground in the congressman's province.
Tapos po, dun sa, sabi niyo po, sir, mga 40 taon na po kayo nagtatrabaho sa ganitong linya. So, ilan na po in total po, yung grand total po ng napatay niyo, sir?
Ibali, 28.
28 po. Tapos ilan po dun yan sa politika?
15 lang.
Pero yun pa rin po yung pinakamalaki.
Yung kasama niya yung 7. Yung minasikir ko. Ang nangyari kasi noon, parehas kami sila bata-bata ng mayor. Ako naman, congressman. Kinuha ko talagang tsimpo na nagiinuman sila sa kubo-kubo Nakita ko sa kubo-kubo, mga lasing na Yung mga baril nila, minsan nakalapag na lang sa Yun ang dala ko, 3 magasin, Armalite. Natsimpuhan ko sila doon. At ang natira doon, isang bata lang na 7 taon.
Ni hindi ho kayo nakakanti ng pulis, ni hindi ho kayo... Bakit ho kaya ganun?
Kasi hawak ng gugurisman ng pulis. Pag sakali masalubong nila ako, may timbre. Huwag yung sipiping nga, bata ko yun. Kaganon yun sila. Pag nagsalubong kami, parang ano lang, baliwala lang. Alam nila na bata ako ng congressman.
Pepping was paid a salary of $370. During the election period, he got an additional $5 a day. A pretty penny when you consider that the average man earns only $279 a month in the Philippines. But it wasn't just about the money. The congressman, his employer, promised to protect Pepping from prison in exchange for his services. 20 years ago, the congressman that Pepping worked for was ambushed and killed. But there is no lack of employment for someone of his experience.
Katulungin niya sa Antipolo. Dalawa yung nagkukuha sa akin ngayon, pero hindi ko pa sinasagot sila na...
Dalawa pong kumukuha sa inyo para ho?
Mayor at saka si Gobyerno Arares. Kasi may kakilala ko na doon sa loob. Ang pasok niya, sir, gusto ko sana ipasok yung tsuhin ko dito. Yun, pwede mo gawing bodyguard. Ganun lang yun. Magulo dyan, daming pisa. Daming pisa. Magulo dyan.
These are the places where private armies are the most active, where election-related violence is most prevalent. They are the Philippines' election hotspots. 800 towns in 15 provinces, including 14 towns in the island province of Masbate.
Kasi ang alam ko nga at naririnig din natin nung panahon ng nag-aaral tayo sa elementarya na isang radio station na sikat, si Rod Navarro, kada umaga pag nagbubukas siya ng kanyang radio station, nagsasalita, sinasabi niya kung gusto niyong kumain ng bala, mag-almusal ng bala, pumunta lang kayo ng Masbate.
Known as cowboy country, Masbate is one of the poorest provinces in the Philippines. A big reason for this poverty? The province's bloody history of political violence.
Yung Masbate, hindi din naman iba siya sa ibang mga probinsya dito sa Pilipinas. Parehas din siya na pag ikaw yung politiko dyan, ikaw na yung warlord. Sa'yo na lahat. Ikaw na siga. So kasama din yung kalaban mo ay pinapatay. Yung kalaban mo, inipit yung kanyang hanap buhay. Yung kalaban mo, ginagawa ng paraan na ma-destroy siya.
Pag hindi mo isugal yung buhay mo, sasabihin na hindi ka suswertehin sa politika.
37-year-old Andre Diaz Sr. has his fair share of political rivals.
Paglabas sa kanilang residence doon sa Bosco, walking towards another block, napansin ko na normally yung block na yun is maliwanag gabi-gabi. It was the same block where former Governor Julie Fernandez was assassinated. It was the very same portion kung saan siya binaril at napatay. I was surprised na ba't madilim? Tinitingnan ko sa malayo, maliwanag doon. So, as I was walking near doon sa pinakalugar, naaninag ko na mayroon sasakyan. isang white van. And what I was doing then was to count every shadow na nung tao na nakikita ko. I was, isa, dalawa, tatlo, ganon. And if I'm not mistaken, I was able to count about 8 to 9 people. And right there and then, nung nasa tapat na talaga nung sasakyan na yun, andun talaga sila. Nagkuha pa. Sinabi pa, galing mo kanina. Nung sa Masbate kasi, okay ka kanina, ang galing mo kanina. Ako naman, nagpasalamat ako kagad. Pero, yung tono ng pagsasabing, ang galing mo kanina, iba na. May threat na. Sabi ko, okay lang po, thank you very much. Manood po ulit kahit bukas. Tapos, pag sabi ko, manood po ulit kayo bukas, biglang may tumunog na, I'm sure it was an Armalite or any firearm na kinasa. Ulitin mo pa ha, ulitin mo pa. Pag sabi yung ulitin na parang wala na ako narinig na masyado, iba pa, tuloy-tuloy na ako paglalakad. Yun na lang. Hindi ako tumakbo, pero ang pakiramdam ko, lumipad na ako. Takot talaga. Siyempre, baril na yun eh.
Which is why Diaz carries a gun with him at all times. He is also accompanied by armed bodyguards everywhere. Diaz will be one of the 1,532 members of the city councils across the Philippines up for re-election in the upcoming midterm elections. He expects it to be a bloody one.
Kasi para sa palagay ko, yun ang isa sa pinaka-prerequisite sa politika para manatili kang establisado. Mapera, maporma at matapang. Kasi kung may pera ka, kilala ka, kung wala ka naman, kung di ka naman matapang, wala rin. Yung tauhan mo lang palagi na papasuko, wala rin. Kailangan pakita mo sa tao na malapatapang ka.
The Special Task Force Masbate, or TFM, composed of military and police personnel, has been tasked with dismantling these private armies. But private armies aren't the only threat around. 32-year-old Ramos, for example, doesn't belong to a private army. He has been a free agent for more than 8 years and has killed quite a few politicians.
Expect kong makukuha kong trabaho niyan, di ma? Pinaka-ano na yun, ha? Pero pinaka-mababa, 3. Kapag politiko, pinakamababang level ng politiko is kagawad ng barangay. Naglalaro siya sa 12 to 14,000.
Oo.
Kapag umakyat na sa konsehal, pumapalo na siya ng 18,000.
Opo.
Pag umabot na ng mga congressman, vice mayor, hindi na siya bababa sa 28,000.
28.
Pagka mayor na, pinakamababa ng 50.
A lucrative period for Ramos makes for a tense time for Filipinos. So far, one election-related murder has already been recorded. The mayor of the town of Isabela was ambushed and gunned down by a suspected gun-for-hire.
Hanggat may politiko, merong ganyan, ma'am.
Is it the politicians? Or is the problem more deeply rooted? Will the Philippines ever be free from gun-related violence? In January this year, the Commission on Election, or COMELEC, instituted a 6-month gun ban. Between January and June this year, civilians are not allowed to carry their firearms in public unless they have an exemption certificate. This is done in a bid to deflate the power of the trigger-happy private armies. This gun ban is instituted every time it's election year. There is, though, one loophole.
Total gun ban can only be implemented kung you are licensed. If it is an illegitimately acquired gun, there is no way by which they will know whether you have it or not.
When Get Real met 32-year-old gun-for-hire Ramos, he was carrying his unlicensed gun. He had brought it from his home to our meeting point, undetected. This, despite the gun ban being enforced just the day before.
Ito ang proteksyon ko sa sarili ko eh. Hindi ko rin naman basta-basta pinagkakatiwala yung bawat paglabas ko eh.
Election o hindi, nagdadala, may gamit kami.
Pero paano sir natatago yan pagka lalabas mo kayo, ganyan?
Minsan nakatapat siya sa mga pinaka...
Dyan po talaga.
Kasi usually ang kapkapan naman sa gilid. Madalang ka makakita po makakap sa harap.
And if he had got caught, the maximum penalty for carrying an unlicensed gun is 6 years, with a fine of about $740 US. But these convictions are few and far between. In their last 10-month operation, the Philippines National Police arrested over 2,800 people for possessing an unlicensed firearm. But compare that to the 600,000 firearms reported to be out there in the Philippines.
That is 1,001 or 1,002 fair police, no? Yung ratio po 1:1. Siguro pwede na yun. Dahil hindi naman natin pwedeng, hindi kaya ng PNP na gawing 1:5, no? Dapat ganun. Medyo kulang naman tayo sa police.
Sa Pilipinas, the rich have a lot of privileges, including the rule of law. Pag silang naging biktima, mapilis ang pulis. Pero kung mahirap ka, hindi papansinin ng pulis. Pag humingi ka ng tulong, sasabihin sa iyo, wala kaming pera para sa gasolina ng jeep namin. Kaya hindi kami makapag-investigate.
The inefficiency of the police force is precisely what the Volunteers Against Crime and Corruption, or VACC, a Quezon City-based NGO, are afraid of. With a name like that, you'd think they want more guns off the streets.
One of our witnesses in the murder of Morta, Mr. Morta, November 8, 2008 at Alfonso, Cavite, si Carlos Mercado, who has his own firearms with him, was gunned down. Kailangan ko dahil yung bumatay sa kapatid ko, hanggang ngayon pinagtatangkaan ako at involved sa drug trafficking.
The VACC held a press conference the day before the gun ban was enforced. It was a plea to be able to carry guns in public, a plea to be exempted from the gun ban.
In-announce nila sa buong Pilipinas na yung mga sibilyan libre na. Wala nang PTC yan, wala nang paglabas sa karsada niyan, target na yan, wala nang dala-dala yan. Tirador na lang ang dala niyan o kaya kung ano, kaya libre na. Yan ang ginawa ng COMELEC na ibenta kami sa mga kriminal.
Pero yun na lang ang pwede nating gawin para ma-prevent yung pagdadala ng mga loose firearms is to conduct checkpoint o plan bakal doon sa mga video okay bars. Pumapasok tayo doon sa mga video okay bar, no? Yung mga customers. In-inform natin sila na o plan bakal o plan buga, chine-check natin sila, pinifresh natin sila para malaman kung may mga dala silang firearms. Malaking tulong yung gun ban, no? Para ma-prevent yung crime involving firearms. Because limited na lang yung pwedeng magdala ng firearms. Selected or limited, no?
Yun ang laro ng mga police. They come out with statistics. Last year, 20 people were killed. This year, 19 people are killed. So there is less violence. But what we should look at is every life is important, and no life should be wasted on account of competition for public offices.
The rate of gun-related deaths in the Philippines is the highest in Asia. Apart from the easy access to guns, endemic poverty in the Philippines means that making money off your gun is an attractive proposition. Ramos charges between $200 and $2,000 per kill, a far cry from the $100 a month he used to earn as a construction worker.
Unang-una na itulong sa akin yan kasi diyan ko napaginghawa yung buhay ng isang asawa ko eh. Diyan ko sila naitago naibigay ko lahat ng gusto nila.
For Peping, getting into this business was an accident. Staying a gun for hire is now a matter of survival. Peping's next target is a landlord who is extorting his tenants. For that, he is charging almost $500. Money that will go into his children's education.
Bala ko, yung dalawang anak ko magtapos. Hindi na ako gawa ng ano.
May ginagawa ho ba kayo para malubag-lubag ho ng konti yung konsensya niyo?
Patuloy sa akin na hindi ako nakakapagtrabaho sa mga trabaho ng mga ganda dahil kulang sa pinag-aralan. Walang pinag-aralan. Kaya napipilitan ako. Tanggapin ko yan. Itong last na yung anak ko nitong bunso na to, kasi 2 taon siya sa ospital yan eh. Wala akong malapitan. Kaya pinangako ko rin sa kanya na mabuhay ka lang din, pero hindi ako magnanakaw. Gagawa ko ng paraan na, biro mo, yung bill ko, 240,000 eh. Saan ko kukunin yun?
The gun ban is a temporary solution to a perennial problem in the Philippines. And attempts at stricter gun control have come up against the brick wall of bureaucracy. 20 bills calling for more stringent rules on licensing and for stiffer penalties for the legal discharge of firearms have been stalled in Congress.
We talk about it, we condemn it, and then nothing happens. That is democracy, Philippine style. So they know they can get away with it. And as long as they know they can get away with it, they will do it.
Mahirap, ma'am. Kasi kung hindi maayos ang sistema ng politika sa atin, lalo lang dumadami. Yun yung isa sa pinag-aaralan ko eh. Habang kainitan ako sa ganyan, pinag-aaralan ko na rin kung paano makakaiwas. Kung paano maaalis sa katawan ko yung baril. Pero sa ngayon, hindi pa kaya. Diba nga sabi ko sa iyo kanina, parang busy yan. Once na nasa katawan mo yan, hindi mo matatanggal yan. Hanggat nandiyan yan. Tuloy-tuloy ang paggamit din yan.
Since the gun ban was imposed, more than 200 people have been arrested for carrying illegal weapons. It's only February. One small-town mayor has already been gunned down by a hired assassin. And it's only February. How many more victims will fall before gun control becomes a reality in the Philippines?